Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Heart Talks, conversations on mental and emotional well being. I'd like to begin the session with a beautiful line by the great poet Rumi. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Perhaps that is what stories gently allow us to do, to touch the places within us that carry the pain, confusion, unanswered emotions, and through telling or listening, allow a little light, understanding, and a healing to enter. And today evening, on this very special Women's Day, we are exploring exactly that storytelling for emotional healing. And to explore this with us today, we have someone who has spent years listening to stories, sharing stories, understanding how they shape our emotional lives. It's my pleasure to welcome Priyanka Sagar Maheshwari, a special guest for our very first episode of Heart Talks. Priyanka Sagar is a communication coach and a professional storyteller with over 2 decades of experience working with children and adults. Drawing from her rich theatre background, she designs engaging interactive sessions that nurture confidence, creativity, and effective self expression. Her work uses stories as powerful tools for resilience, emotional development, and meaningful communication. Her teacher training programs are widely appreciated by schools and educational institutions for their practical approach, classroom relevance, and lasting impact on both educators and students. Priyanka takes deep joy in being part of the prestigious platforms of Anupam Prayas Foundation and Spectrum, the Awareness Project, through which she shares stories of inclusion and acceptance of uniqueness with more and more children, spreading awareness, empathy, and joy. And so we put our hands together and welcomed Priyanka Sagar for this beautiful show. Welcome, Priyanka.
Hi, Rohini. Good evening. Greetings to everyone who's joining. And congratulations, Rohini. Congratulations for this beautiful unfolding journey for yours.
Yes,
It's lovely. And what
thank you.
better
Thank you.
than Women's Day to start this? So, a double
Right.
congratulations to Kathakaro.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Priyanka. Before we begin this session, the flow, I'd like to start with a small reflective activity for our audience who are watching and for a special guest. I want all of you to close your eyes for a moment. I invite you to think of a small object, image, or a memory from your life. Something ordinary, nothing dramatic, just something that quietly carries emotional meaning. Just think, when did this enter your life? What emotion does it hold? And if it could speak, what might it want you to know? Slowly open your eyes. Priyanka, if you're comfortable, would you like to share what came up for you?
Sure. Rohini, that was a beautiful activity. I hope everyone who's joining in is able to use this lovely, engaging activity. I would love to share mine. I was on a travel trip where I saw this very simple piece of jewelry and I picked it. It's a black thread and it's got a tree which is made from wooden balls. The tree is made from green wooden balls and a little trunk.
Hmm.
Each time that I wear it, each time that I embrace it, it reconnects me with the fact that I'm like the tree, that giving gives me joy. And also the entire material used in this, Rohini, when you made us do this activity, I realized that the organic thread or the basic wooden beads, they tell me that I find comfort being away from the flashy world, nothing which is non sustainable. which is again going back to the roots. So, wow, that's such a metaphor. I'm so glad that we started with such a lovely activity. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Priyanka, what you just shared is already a form of, a form of emotional connection. And your experience, in fact, is a story. You are just trying to express it without trying to fix anything there. So that little warm up already shows how easily we slip into stories without trying. And I think all of us at some point turn to stories, whether we are talking to a friend, whether we are replaying something in our minds, or whether we are trying to remember a moment, especially
Yes.
when emotions feel hard to hold. And that brings us to today's theme, storytelling for emotional healing. Instead of starting with ideas, I'd love to start with a moment. Priyanka, can you take us to a time, early time or a recent one, when you felt the power of story in your own life?
Brilliant. Uh, I'll quickly take you through an incident when I was in my childhood and also a very tiny one from the recent past. Well, I've been born and brought up here in Delhi. I was in DPS. And during my schooling years, I was a chirpy girl which had a shrill voice. I had a shrill voice. And every PTM, the moment my parents entered the class, the teacher was ready with one remark, and that is, she is very talkative. Oh, we can only hear her voice. Rohini, at that time, at that tender age, I think it became embarrassing for me because I knew that even next year and the next year, my parents are going to receive this. Then, over the years, I sat down. I sat down with this story. What is this story telling me? Why am I embarrassed about my voice? And I converted the same embarrassment into the fact that I carry my voice and my voice is heard. I got trained by award winning storytellers throughout the globe. Until now, I'm in an endeavor to make the stories reach as many souls, touch as many hearts as possible. So, my dear friends, your mess is your message. I
Correct.
repeat, your mess is your message. Now I'll
Lovely.
get you to the very recent happening. Somewhere in some session, I heard a beautiful line, and that little story nugget has changed me. Absolutely changed me. And even if one person, Rohini, even if one person today carries this learning with them today, then I think our session is worth it. So I'll share.
Great.
Have you heard the phrase that the grass seems greener on the other side? Have you heard it?
Yes. Yes.
What do you think it means?
It means like, whenever we look at something else which which we don't have or which we yearn to have, we always feel there is something more beautiful there or something very nice over there, and we are missing it or we are lacking it. We don't have it with us.
Hmm.
Things seem to be more comfortable and more beautiful on the other side always.
Yes, more comfortable, more beautiful, more healthier, more wealthier, whatever.
Yes.
So for the longest part of my life, I used to use this phrase as the grass is greener on the other side. The grass is greener on the other side. Then I realized, oh, this is a grammatical mistake. It is not the grass is greener, it is the grass seems greener. Seems greener means it just appears. But now the twist. Of late, the story changed again. And I have started telling myself, hear this out, friends. My grass is green enough. My grass is green enough.
Lovely.
So if you
Lovely.
can carry this story nugget, it'll change your life. It's
Lovely.
mesmerizing. My grass is green enough.
Lovely, Priyanka. You have, this is the very first time I'm hearing something like this. Never ever thought of this also, this line or this changing of this, the narrative, as you usually mention, change the narrative, change the perception, and see the beauty.
Yes,
So,
Rohini, I think I'm so grateful that you use that word narrative because you are a storyteller and there's so many storytellers joining us. Tell me something. Aren't there two type of stories? One that we are telling the world. Give me a thumbs up. Yes.
yes, yes,
And the other is the stories that we tell our own self.
ourselves, our own self, right,
And we need to work on both.
correct,
The more you work on your inner narrative, the better stories are going to come out for the world, indeed.
absolutely, absolutely.
You know,
True,
Rohini, I
Priyanka.
often say that every session that I participate in, it leaves me richer because the discussion that is happening, the experience that you are sharing and people are writing in chat, it just enriches. Although we are facilitators, but after every session, friends, we are also left richer. So thank you for everyone who's watching us.
So beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm left with no words, but still I have to take this forward. As I previously mentioned, at some point we all turn to stories when emotions feel hard to hold, right? So, why do you think storytelling connects so deeply with emotional healing? And what is it about stories, that feels so human, so comforting, even across ages and cultures?
Yes, Rohini, I've been really exploring this. This is something that has made me curious for a long time. Earlier, I used to think maybe I'm very childlike. Maybe I'm connected to the inner child, and that is why stories work. Then, the
Mm,
more I researched, I realized, and I'm sure I'm speaking on your behalf, and I'm speaking on behalf of many. As life happens to us, we start wearing armors.
right.
It's like those defenses. Tanan, tanan. And these armors are invisible. They would be one of our role, one of our position, one of our status, one of our recognition, our salary package, our culture, our family, the family name.
Yes.
And Rohini, it is when we hear a story that we slowly and gently drop these defenses. We just drop them. And when you are listening or witnessing a story, when you are watching a story, you are sitting like a 5-year old with the same curiosity of a little child. And when you have that curiosity, when you are a 5-year old, then whatever is to be passed will gently enter.
Mm,
The bond will be made. And that is why stories will always gift you something where words fail. Can I just quickly take a 30-second story?
yes, yes, sure. Most welcome.
Okay. So once there was a well and it had very meetha pani, it had sweet water. One day, the well just decided, I am not letting anyone have water from me. What is this? The animals come, the humans come, everybody is just taking water without my permission. I am not sharing. No, 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 said the well. Everybody around accepted. Okay, not this well. He doesn't want to share. Do you know what happened? What do you think would have happened in 7 days? What would have happened in 10 days? Slowly, dried leaves started covering the water. Slowly, there was algae and fungus. Slowly, the sweetness became bitter. What do you think the story is telling you, Rohini?
The more you share, the more, you know, you you carry that life within you. You keep yourself alive. Or
Absolutely. Now you tell me, I ask you. Suppose I tell you we should share more. Does that work better? Or visualizing this well which has got stale and stagnant water, standing water? Does
exactly,
this
that's what
visualization?
stayed with me. Exactly, that image when you said leaves and all, I was about to use the word stagnant, and you said that.
See? So we
Hmm.
storytellers between show and tell always show,
Right.
because just telling, the words sometimes become hollow. They don't
Correct.
land. And when
Correct.
I take your hand and take you inside the story, then the value is passed on. The work is done. It is yours forever.
Yes.
That is
And
why stories work better. Whether it is
hmm,
history, whether it is life skills, whether it is moral values, whether it is geography, or happiness and mindfulness, it is story nuggets that work the best.
beautiful. Every once one lady asked me, like, she wanted some sessions for her son, for behavioral patterns. He's going through some challenges and all. He's an 8-year-old boy. Then I told her, like, all my sessions are story led. They're not instruction led. And I leave I leave children with reflections. I don't try to change their behavior. And these reflections at some point in time they stay within their database, and then when they come across a particular situation, they're automatically retrieved. And that's when they feel it. That's when probably he might respond in a different way. But we cannot teach them. We can only, as you said, show and tell them and leave them with
Yeah.
reflections.
Lovely. That's a big heart for you.
Thank you, Priyanka. As you are talking, I was noticed when we are directly asked, how do you feel? Many of us free,
Mm.
not because we don't feel, because feelings sometimes they feel too exposed. I've seen many
Mm.
people who 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 try to shun their emotions, who try to close themselves from being exposed, from being vulnerable.
Correct.
But when we shift to storytelling, something softens there. I
Yes.
once worked with a child who couldn't talk about her fear,
Mm-hmm.
but she told me a story about a little turtle, who's been getting bullied by other friends of his, and the turtle tried to, always kept pulling into its shell because the world felt too loud for the little turtle. So there I saw, when she was talking about the turtle, I saw the girl talking about her fears. She never used the word
Mm.
I'm scared, but everything was there. Even
Great.
adults also, when they say, like, I feel broken,
Mm.
they feel it's very heavy. But
Mm.
sometimes saying it feels like I'm walking through the fog. It creates a space for them because the fog can lift.
Mm.
So why do you think stories and metaphors like this feel
Mm.
safer than direct emotional expression?
Let me show you an example. When I am with my mentees, some of them say, oh, we hesitate in using props. Either we can do story or we can handle props. We can't do both. Okay?
Mm,
So I
mm,
tell them, props is not necessarily finger puppets and something in your hand. Let me just show you. That's a book and that's a page. Yes?
yes,
So if I have to use a prop, I would, in my story, I would, okay, you've got this challan, come on, you have to pay 500. So I'm using this paper as a paper. Yes?
yes.
Now, let me use this as a metaphor for your feeling.
Mm,
Hi, I'm Rohini. I try to have my online sessions but then COVID happened. Again, I tried, but then some health challenge happened. Each time I tried, something or the other came in the way. And I had so much doubt. I felt crushed and I felt crumpled. Now, here, this paper is there to show and express your emotions. Rohini, we are made out of senses. What are the
Yes.
five senses? Can you tell me?
Yeah, touch, feel, see, taste, and smell.
Hearing, eyesight, smell.
Hearing, yeah, see, hearing,
Yes.
seeing, yeah,
So, we are living for experiences. Yes, it is the
yeah.
sensory experiences that make our life.
Hmm.
That is why when you are mentioning a sensory experience, it becomes easier to express.
Correct.
I often say labels are for kitchen jars. I
Hmm.
repeat, labels are for kitchen jars. I am angry, I am broken. Let's go deeper. How does it feel? Let's explore the feeling, no?
Right.
How is it? Is it feeling coarse or is it feeling velvety? Is it feeling crushed or it is like a fluffy white cloud? We think in images, we talk about textures, stories and metaphors make it easier to express and let the bottled up feelings come out with ease.
Hmm.
Here I want to share, Rohini. This is a red zone story. You know what is a red zone story?
No.
So there are zones.
Hmm.
There are white zone stories which we would just walk on the street and share. Haha,
Hmm.
today the vegetable seller has not come. Okay, okay, you got the milk. Simple, the white zone stories. Okay. Then we go inside. There are yellow zone stories. Stories that you would call up a friend and share. You know what happened? And then she was late for the kitty party. A little more acquaintance. Okay? You with me?
Right. Yes, yes.
Then we go to the orange zone. The orange zone is something deeper. You call up your sister and say that you're not liking seeing mama lose her health. They're orange zone stories. And then there are red zone stories that are
Hmm.
very close to you. The core.
Hmm.
Yeah. So these are like concentric circles with the same center. And I'm
Hmm.
sharing a very personal story that changed me. So
Hmm.
during the second wave of COVID, I lost my school friends. I lost a batchmate from my school. And all the other, our co batch, the friends, we wanted to help his wife and we were lost what to do, what to say. She has little children. How will she manage financially? She's not working. I was helpless. I was bothered. I really wanted to do something and I was clueless.
Hmm.
I remember, I don't know how and what gave me the strength. I just announced a story circle, a circle of trust. I would not even call it a grief circle. And there, I very gently offered a story on resilience, on setback to come back. The session happened, she attended. Next morning, when I checked her DP, there was a little sapling and it said hope. And I'm getting goosebumps right now because that day I knew that the story has done its work. That is the power of stories.
And when you said that you saw the DP, there was a little sapling, and that was what that has come to my mind now when you shared the story, when you told about this incident.
Really?
Yes,
Amazing. Wow.
it was because a long time back I read a story about a little boy who just goes onto a hill where he finds a broken branch, a small, dried branch of a tree, completely dried with all rocks around it, no water, nothing. Then he thinks like, this thing could have been a, home for many. Just goes, fetches a little, water in his water bottle and keeps pouring. On one fine day, he finds a small sapling. So when you said about this, that is what has come to my mind,
Yes.
Priyanka.
Yes.
Lovely.
Visualization and imagery. This is all what makes the stories richer. This is what
Right.
connects the bond. I often say in my sessions, Rohini, that this sign belongs to the sign language. And this is exactly what the stories do. From my
Mm.
heart to you, they create this bond.
Correct.
I'm sure many of us would know even more than me. I know a very little, but I'm very fascinated by neuroplasticity. I would
Mm.
quickly just introduce this. So, our brain is majorly divided into two parts, the left side and the right side. We all know one is processing the facts, figures,
Logic
numbers,
facts.
data. Yes?
Yes.
And the other side is processing the ideas and the,
Yes. Emotions.
the innovations and yeah,
Creative
the
side. Yeah.
creativity. Yes.
Yes.
And stories is connecting a bridge between the left and the right.
Right.
So it is only when you add that, that logic and magic, that bridge is happening through stories.
Right.
Look
Correct.
at the power of healing. Some people need logic, some people
Yes.
need magic, and
Yes.
stories combine the two.
Yes.
Can there be anything more convincing? Can
No.
there be a better way to teach, to heal, to give a soothing feeling?
See, that's just like you said, you nailed it, saying that, the fact they connect a bridge between the logic, between the facts and the creative side. Like facts are all naked, and you give a
Mm,
beautiful dress to
mm,
them, and it becomes a story. It becomes so appealing.
what a lovely metaphor. I like that. I'm going to use this.
I heard it somewhere, but now I recollected when you said that.
Yes. So here I want to mention something, Rohini. The stories are nobody's. The stories don't belong to somewhere. They're all around us. They've been floating in the air. How else do you think the stories have been traveling from your nanima to my nanima to us and they're going to travel to the next generation? They
Correct.
are not possession of someone. If they had a color, we would have seen them, just float in the air. So,
Right.
as you said, this is not me, this is somebody. But we are the madhyam, na? We are the
Yeah, yeah.
container. We are the
Yes.
mode through which we have to pass.
Right.
Every story that I say with folded hands, I tell my mentees and my audience, please go and tell this story to three more people. Why? Because I want a multiplier effect. I want my stories to reach as many people and as many lives as possible because they're not mine. I've been gifted from someone. How neutral the stories are, see?
Right. Right. And when we're talking about this stories, the metaphors and all, sometimes the stories we, hesitate to tell are not the dramatic ones, they're the unfinished ones. You
Hmm.
know, we don't know whether this is the story or this is the full stop or this is the comma, there is still more to it.
Hmm.
I heard a friend talking about a situation of hers, but she really did not know. She simply said nothing really ended, Rohini. This is where I'm stopping myself. Another time, a child kept, telling the same story again and again, but she always stopped it at the same point. Eventually, I realized that the stopping point was the story itself. So many emotional experiences, they live in fragments, they live in images, they live in moments and half sentences, as you mentioned previously. So, what about stories that have an ending, yet or may never have an ending? So, can these unfinished or fragmented stories still be healing?
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for bringing this up. Ah, this is so lovely, and I love this pause that is happening right now because stories always work. Their magic happens in the pause. So I'm just letting your question itself do the magic. And from that, I want to share what I have learned. Stories do their magic in three ways, Rohini. One, when I share, when I'm speaking, when I'm sharing a personal story, it is healing because I've spoken. Huh?
Yes, right.
Second, listening.
Hmm.
When someone listens to a story, it is healing because the person realizes this is happening not just to me, there are others like me, because
Correct.
there's a sense of belongingness. Oh yes, I know that feeling. That
Right.
is harsh. So the second healing happens as a
Listen.
listener. And now the third and the most wonderful way that a story happens, it's the space, just the space.
Correct.
A story will give you the space to feel. Now, if you have understood this, then I ask you, where is the need for closure? Where is the need for closure? Have you heard the saying that more than the destination, it is the journey that is important? Have you heard that?
Yes, yes, and I always say that. I always say that
Can I know your views on this?
because we keep a goal and we try to reach that goal, or we anything, not exactly a goal, and during the process of reaching the goal we go through lots of things. We come across lots of experiences, come across lots of moments, harder one, happier ones, sad ones, or tougher ones, challenges. Once we reach the goal, that moments just stays, it just stays for a very few minutes, or probably for a day and all. But when you look back, there was a long journey, lots of things that you have done across to reach this particular thing, your destination. And when you forget, or when you are not living those moments and simply racing and rushing yourself to reach that point, when you look back, there is all
Mm.
vacuum, there is nothing. You have
Wow.
left a lot. I
Yeah.
always feel this. Even while cutting a paper or making a small craft activity, I live that moment. I live it. Even while making a
Wow.
puppet, I don't want to see the outcome. I just stay with the foam, a piece of foam. So I love that journey. Always, I love the journey.
Beautiful sharing. One more example I'll take. I'm sure
Yes,
many will identify themselves with this. Do you
yes,
remember all those vacation trips with your parents? Yeah?
yeah, yes.
So, first the jhagra on where to go. Huh? No, 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 no. Every time Didi will decide the same, I will decide. No, we are not going to Goa, we are going to Pachmari. Yes? Then
Right,
the packing. The
correct,
packing. Buying that special frock. Or
correct.
today the children will go and buy their favorite cookies to pack. That process, that joy, it's really not reaching the destination. So then if it is the process that is more enjoyable, if it is the hardships that is really making us, then can't we simply conclude that the unfinished stories are our becoming?
Oh
They are
my,
our becoming.
oh my.
I'm literally making it a flowchart so that people, they it enters the logical mind. That
Correct.
don't wait for the perfect moment, don't wait for your story to be absolutely polished. You just bring it out with the entire authenticity, that rawness, that organic, that crude story is your truth. This is
Correct.
what you are, and this is the becoming, and it is precious.
True.
As I say, I hear myself, and I'm so grateful that we are, exploring these questions together, Rohini, because it's an entire journey of self growth, and I wish many, many more happen here on this platform.
Sure, sure, Priyanka. And that was a beautiful example that you have given of such a simple example that everyone can connect to. Even today, I do the same thing when we are going out on a trip. Jagda, the packing, what to wear, what not to, you know, how
That
do
is
we,
what makes it beautiful. That is what
yes,
makes it beautiful. My favorite saying, that we grow through what we go through. And I can never have enough of saying this. We grow through what we go through. Then it is your
my,
journey that is important, no?
true, true,
It is the speed
absolutely,
breakers that are important.
absolutely.
And that wonderful example, since we are storytellers, we talk in metaphors, we talk in story nuggets. ECG, which shows lifeline, goes up and down and down and up and up and down. Agree?
Correct.
And what
Yes.
happens when it goes straight?
Why it stops?
The end.
Correct.
Now, also, you want closure?
No, I don't want.
It is the journey, it is
Right.
the unfinished, authentic moments, those personal stories. What will I teach you? Anybody who's coming to me is a reservoir of personal stories. I'm only removing the peels of the onion and letting you explore all the stories inside you. Yes?
And many times I feel like, when I write a poem or when I write a story, a short stories or whatever it is, I don't give them that proper endings. Probably when you're saying this now, I'm able to connect.
Wow.
Huh. Because many of my friends even ask me, like, your stories don't have a proper ending. I don't know. They are like that.
Wow.
Probably
That's a
that is,
brilliant thing that you do, Rohini. I hats off to you. You know why? Let's
I
explore
don't
this.
know. Yes.
You don't give a finished, polished ending because why? Hear me
I
out.
don't,
Everyone will pluck from the story, extract from the story what they are ready to receive.
ah,
We
right.
hear in life what we choose to hear. We hear in life what we choose to hear. So
Hmm.
you just gift the story, okay? Depending upon what phase of life we are in, what hurdle we are managing, what challenges are shaping us, we will pick our lesson.
Right.
So, gratitude to you that you are not really boxing up, you are not labeling your story as a story on hope, courage, resilience. No, you are just offering. That's a
Ah,
brilliant thing. Brilliant. I'm so glad this came up.
thank you. And that's a beautiful word. I'm just offering. That's all.
Yes.
Right.
So, I remember in Eric's session, he just candidly said something which I think I'm not going to forget for a long time now. So, very casually, he said, we can only do as much as we can, but
Hmm.
we must do as much as we can.
Hmm.
So, as storytellers, if we are able to touch even two lives, if we are able to really shape two children or one adult, then also our entire task is worth the effort, Rohini. One life positively impacted. Done.
Lovely. So lovely, Priyanka. Like we have spoken about, metaphors, unfinished stories, the fragments of emotions. I keep thinking about how, often our stories are shaped by who is listening to us. So many a times, how many of our stories have been edited for approval or softened so they don't make others uncomfortable, or they have been just polished so they sound
Mhm.
resolved even when they are not. And
Mhm.
sometimes I feel we don't abandon our stories, we abandon ourselves in the telling of our stories. So how can we begin telling stories to ourselves without needing to explain, to justify, to seek validation, or to just complete them without a need for validation or an acceptance from others?
Let's take a 2-second pause because this is so deep.
Sure.
Friends, what can be a better day to ask this question? Women's Day. A woman, a nurturer, a creator, still looking for validation from the other gender, from adults, from elders, from children, from everywhere. मैं ठीक कर रही हूँ, मैं sufficient कर रही हूँ. Will I be ignoring the home if I go to work? Is my dish as good as my mama made? This is us in general. Now, if I talk about storytellers, many storytellers ask me, Priyanka, how will I be sure that the story that I tell will be making the teachers happy?
Hmm.
How can I be sure that the children will enjoy the story? What if the parents don't like the activities that I'm going to take up? From my journey, what I tell them is for once, only one time, don't tell the story for the teacher. Don't tell the
Right.
story for the parent.
Right.
Tell the story for the sake of the story. Tell the story because the story has chosen you.
Right.
When you don't seek validation, when you are not performing for someone, when you are not cooking the dish to make someone happy, is when there will be joy. And when there is joy, there is more of you added to your work. And that is what authenticity is. Rohini's element will be there in her story when she speaks the story for the sake of the story.
Hmm.
I will be in my element when I dress up for myself and not the world.
Right.
You nurture the child just for the feeling, not to prove anything, not to reach anywhere. Can we just sit and look at everything as if they're floating clouds passing by? Yes, this is beautiful. And that's what makes me smile. And every time I say, I hear it myself because we really need to remind again and again that we are doing our bit and we need no validation. You do you. The world
Right.
will adjust.
Hmm.
It might sound rebellious, but it's a gentle rebel because we are connecting back to ourselves. You know, often people confuse being selfish and self love. What is self love, Rohini? And I'm so glad that this session is happening on Women's Day. What do you think is self love? Can you define for me, please?
Why? It's a very big question. Loving yourself, unconditionally, or, just, the way you are.
Hmm.
Loving yourself as, loving your being the way it is, without, without, you know, thinking about the flaws or about the distortions, or without, the whatever it is, like, the defects which you have inside you. Loving the very being of yourself is self love.
Wow.
Without,
Now do like this. If we have embraced self love, if we have embraced self love, do you think we need validation? You have answered the question yourself.
no, we don't. Hmm.
Beyond validation, stories will flow because you're not waiting for perfection and you're not waiting for validation. Your story
Hmm.
is beautiful as it is. We need to trust the intelligence of life, Rohini. Only we are coming in our own way. Who has the guts to stop you, a woman? It is only us. We are only coming in our own way. No. We are
Correct.
seeking validation. We are seeking closure. We are waiting for the perfect ending to the story.
Right.
Start from where you are. Start from now. You are already a storyteller. And this world is all about stories.
Yes. This is so deep,
Yes. I think the
and
feeling, the vibe that this whole discussion is carrying itself is healing. I feel that. I hope the
right.
audience who are here, they are able to give a thumbs up, or if they want to share something in the comments, or I think you can unmute them also. Maybe there are people who watch it later, but
Yes.
please acknowledge yourself. This is what Rohini wants. This is what I want. This is the whole purpose. Speak your story because speaking heals it. Stories are the biggest tools to acknowledge your journey. Thank you,
Right.
Neeta. Thank you, Deepti. I'm so glad that this is speaking with you. All Rohini's efforts. It is her vision and mission that thoughts reach. And we've also learned it falling and rising, falling and rising. So we are just sharing our thoughts. You know why? Thank you, Kanika. Because if we have invented the wheel, we don't want you to sit down and invent the wheel. Can
Correct.
we, as Rohini said, offer the wheel
Just
that we
offering.
invented? Yes. Thank you, Shweta.
And you have offered something, priceless, I can say, so valuable today, Priyanka. I still have to process. I'm full now. I've just taken everything, and that it is absorbing. It has to process. There are so many thoughts that are going in my mind at this point in time. Like, whatever you have spoken, I've taken everything from you, from your words, from your experiences, whatever you have shared. Probably our audience are also feeling like that. It's like, as you said, some stories or some experiences, they're not asking to be completed. I'm just witnessing it.
Hmm. Lovely.
I'm wit- I'm just
Lovely.
witnessing it. I'm just staying with it. So I'm living with it. It needn't have to be written, or it needn't have to be expressed in words,
Mm.
but I'm staying with it now.
Lovely.
Probably this
And I
would stay
love
for
the
a very long
metaphor.
time.
So sorry, I'm
Yeah,
interrupting.
yes,
The metaphor that you use, that my cup is full, that's so lovely, so beautiful. There's a cup that is full, and
Yes.
we can't pour from an empty cup. Yes?
Right.
So
Yes.
when our cup is full, we are going to pass whatever it is filled up with. Yes?
Yes.
Agree,
Yes.
Shweta? Agree, Kanika?
Yes.
So I'm so sure that after this, there are going to be so many children and so many adults that are going to receive gifts from you because you just replenished yourself. And that is
Correct.
so important.
Correct.
This is what this day celebration is meant for. Stories, stories, and then some more. Keep creating, keep sharing stories. Your story will encourage personal stories from others. And then remember the rule of three: stories know their way, they will heal you, and you will not even realize, and they would have done their magic.
Right.
Thank you, Rohini. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Priyanka, and you have done that magic now.
Not
You
at
have
all,
really
not
done
at
that
all.
magic. Thank you
I
so
think
very much.
you started with Rumi, right? What was that beautiful
Yes.
line? Can you say that again, please, for us?
Yes, yes, I'll say that. Is the wound is the place where the light enters you. So
Hmm. And
when
I'll
there is
also
a
end with Rumi's line:
yes,
the beauty you see in me is a reflection of you. So,
beautiful.
everybody who's liking this, it is you. It is you who's waiting to be heard. Go ahead, tell your story. The world is waiting to hear. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Priyanka. You really made our day so special on the very first episode of Heart Talks. And thank you so much, audience, for taking out your precious time, joining us on this very important Women's Day and making it even more special. Thanks a lot. We'll be coming up with another amazing guest with another amazing theme. So please join us and please join the conversations and let us all share, let us all listen, let us all reflect on these beautiful themes of Heart Talks, conversations on emotional and mental well-being. So till then, bye bye, signing off. Wish you all very, very happy Women's Day once again. Bye bye.